Hello everyone, welcome to the first episode of our weekly Cinema News. We're diving into last week's biggest stories, from major studio failures to surprising industry shakeups. So without further ado, let's get started. Let's kick things up with two major failures from two of the biggest studios, Disney and Netflix. Starting with Disney, last week they held a test screening for the live-action Snow White remake. But this wasn't your usual test screening. Instead of inviting a variety of critics, Disney handpicked their own group, ensuring a controlled narrative. As expected, these critics left the screening praising the film, calling it the best live-action adaptation in years, and highlighting Rachel Zegler's performance as brilliant. However, when the same critics submitted their rating online, the numbers told a different story. Snow White received a shocking 44 on Rotten Tomatoes and 50 on Metacritic. Later reviews described Zegler's performance as mediocre, the script as terrible, and even GalGadot's acting was labeled as the worst of her career. In an attempt to shift the negative focus, Disney backed GalGadot's star on Hollywood Walk of Fame, paying the required $30,000, hoping it would generate positive press. But their plan backfired. At the unveiling ceremony, pro-Palestinian protesters disrupted the event, creating a media frenzy. Later, GalGadot responded to backlash online, saying, "I'm shocked by the amount of hatred I'm receiving." While Disney was struggling with Snow White, Netflix was dealing with its own expensive disaster. Electric Estate, the Russo brothers' latest project, had a massive $320 million budget, but only pulled in 25 million views. For context, smaller Netflix films with budget under 100 million usually rack up 50 million views in just a few days. In response to this failure, Netflix decided to help feature collaborations with the Russo brothers. Making matters worse, the Russos admitted they use AI during production and announced plans to incorporate AI in all their future projects. But not all was bad news for Netflix. They finally won a 3-year-long legal battle against filmmaker Carl Wrench, who scammed the streaming giant out of $11 million. Instead of using the money to develop the show 47 Ronin as promised, Wrench invested it in his stocks, lost half when the market crashed, and gambled the rest on crypto. When he made a profit, he cashed out and spent it on luxury cars, clothing, and personal expenses. After a long legal battle, he was ordered to repay the money and now faces up to 20 years in prison. Shifting from controversy to upcoming projects, Netflix had some good news for fans of Wednesday. Jenna Ortega confirmed that filming for Season 2 has wrapped, and that Netflix is already working on the script for Season 3. She also revealed that the new season will be much darker, focusing on legendary horror characters. This shift comes after Netflix removed the romance subplot from Season 1, due to the actor playing Wednesday love interest being cancelled in Hollywood for inappropriate behavior. Over at Apple TV, TedLasso's creators confirmed last week Ted will now coach a women's soccer team, with Rebecca and Kelly taking center stage in the story. Meanwhile, fans of Severance can breathe a sigh of relief. The long wait between seasons is over. Ben Stiller confirmed that Season 3 won't take another 3 years and is already in production, with the release expected in about a year and a half. Last week, there was a lot of exciting news for gamers. Amazon made an interesting move by renewing the GodOfWar series for a second season, before even finishing the script for Season 1. The showrunner, Ronald D. Moore, known for shows like For All Mankind, admitted in an interview that he hasn't played video games since the 90s and has struggled to get through the game, which has left some fans concerned about how he'll adapt the story. On a more promising note, HBO's The Last of Us released a new poster for Season 2, which is identical to the game's artwork. This sparked debates online, with fans comparing Bella Ramsey's charisma to Ellie's in the game. Either way, Season 2 premieres on April 13th. Lastly, the first images from Mortal Kombat 2 has been released. While the first film wasn't particularly strong, the sequel has added new cast members and fans are hopeful it will improve. In the superhero world, DC's Surgeon Rock movie took an unexpected turn. Originally set to star Daniel Craig, the film is now searching for a new lead after Craig dropped out to join the Chronicles of Narnia. DC is considering offering the role to Colin Farrell, who already plays the Penguin in Matt Reeves' Batman universe. This has sparked some confusion, but DC has clarified that the two roles exist in separate universes. Meanwhile, Amazon's Invincible continues to dominate. The Season 3 finale earned a near-perfect 9.9 on IMDb, putting it among the highest-rated TV episodes ever, alongside Game of Thrones' Battle of Bastards and Breaking Bad's finale. Shifting gears to Hollywood's biggest stars, Tom Cruise made headlines once once again, not for his daring stunts, but for his dinner meeting with Ana de Armas. Speculations ran wild until Cruise clarified that she will co-star in his next movie, the first ever film shot in space. The film's budget is staggering $200 million, with $60 million going directly to Cruise's salary. In other news, the salaries for the cast of Euphoria has been revealed. Zendaya earns $1 million per episode, while Sydney Sweeney takes home $800,000 per episode, making them the highest paid actors on the show. On a different note, Ben Affleck reminded everyone why his friendship with Matt Damon is legendary, saying, "We don't need a million friends, just one good friend can change your life." The two have been close since childhood, and Damon even helped Affleck during his divorce from Jennifer Lopez, when negotiating with her to prevent her from taking half of Affleck's newly established production company. Before we go, let's end with something unexpected: Norway's decision to turn Cinderella into a horror film. The Ugliest Stepsister reimagines Cinderella as a ruthless social climber who eliminates her rivals in terrifying ways. The wildest part? It has a 98 score on Rotten Tomatoes, proving that even fairy tales aren't safe from horror reimaginings. And that wraps up our first episode of Weekly Cinema News. Let me know in the comments what you think about this week's stories. See you next time.